What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And not that you'd know it, but I potentially might have OCD. You wouldn't be able to tell from my upload schedule. But if I'm being completely honest, not uploading a video on a day that I've already penciled it in to upload does take a small effect on sort of my mental space as to whether or not, you know, that day was a complete success. Obviously, other things far more important, but it does take a little bit of an effect. So we're gonna run this test, see what it comes up with. So, okay, so the following questions refer to any obsessive and intrusive thoughts or compulsive behaviors you've experienced over the last week. So only 7 days, and we've got 10 questions. Our first of which is, to what extent were you able to exercise control over those obsessive thoughts? I'm going to go with moderate, which was our middle option. Obviously, as we can see here, the ranking system gives us 1 to 5, obviously 5 being sort of the worst. We're playing golf here. We want to get the smallest number possible, because obviously not having a mental disorder is better. To what extent were you able to exercise control over the compulsive behaviors? You know what? For the last week, I'm gonna go with much, which is our 2-star option at the top here. I'm only gonna do that because sometimes you just want to do something compulsive at work, but you don't have time. Yeah. Now, I'm not someone who has to like turn the light on and off 16 times when I leave a room. And if that's something that you do, I'm not trying to make fun of it. I'm just saying, I know that that's some people's compulsive behavior. But I do like things done a certain way. And sometimes, especially when I'm at work, and I know that it's, it's not my environment and I have a limited amount of control over it, I am able to sort of push those to the back of my mind and just sort of power through, even though it just, I then usually get home and make sure that same situation is set right in my own bubble. Question 3. How much time did you spend engaging in compulsive behaviors? We've got none, up to an hour, a few hours, several hours, or most of the day. Most/all of the day. When you go a few hours a day, my compulsive behavior is I have sort of a weird relationship with food come over night time. It's a bit of a compulsion to sort of eat, especially when I'm like watching movies or TV. I have a compulsion to just sort of lie in bed on Facebook or TikTok or YouTube or whatever in the morning. But I think that's more of a depression thing. If we're gonna get real deep, I think that's more of a depression thing. Trying to fill a hole at night and sort of do something mind-numbing to just forget all of the issues of that day, so I can try and sleep relatively easily. And then in the morning, if I have the option, it's usually a sort of a lack of motivation to get up. So I think it's definitely more of a depression thing. But again, one symptom can be the same, and show up for multiple disorders. So, question 4: how much of the time were you able to stop yourself engaging in compulsive behaviors? I'm gonna again go with the middle one here. Some of the time. Other times I have to do it. As I'm sure if you've watched my channel for a while, I'm sure you've noticed I sort of nervously touch my face. I've noticed while filming. It's something that I do. Yeah, it's more of like an anxiety thing. Or like I'll fix up my hair. It's an anxiety thing. And I suppose it sort of comes from a spot of trying to present a particular way, whether that's as the strong and supportive friend who has time for your problems, or as the good employee who does what he's told, or whatever it might be. And none of those, some of the time, what I'm presenting is not at all how I'm feeling. So it's a bit of a masking technique. Question 5. To what extent did these thoughts make you feel distressed or upset? Look, this particular week, and I'm not going to go into detail, this particular week we are having to go with extreme. Unfortunately. The thoughts that I obsess over and the situations that I replay over in my head, unless I've actually had something to do, like my work or doing a workout or sitting down to do some study, and being able to fully envelop myself in that task that needs doing. If I'm not doing something like that, the thought just plays over and over and over and over in my mind, particularly over the last couple of days, which is why I haven't uploaded. I know I did like 2 days back to back where it was just a video dump each time, and then that sort of died off, and then this again is going to be part of a video dump, with video ideas that I'd had that were supposed to come out sort of once a day, that I'm just sort of trying to catch up on, because I think they're good ideas, and I want to try and get onto new ideas, instead of just having a list of video ideas that I never got around to making. Question 6. How much time were you able to stop yourself having obsessive thoughts? This one we can go with a little bit, because like I said, if I've had something to do, and I'm able to just immerse myself in that task, I can turn it off, but otherwise. So number 7, to what extent do these compulsive behaviours get in the way of your school, work or social life? The particular thoughts that I'm thinking of, and again, I'm not going into them, on work life, mild. I mean, I'm going to go with moderate, just to sort of play it safe. Number 8, to what extent did these thoughts get in the way? Is that literally not what the last question was? Did the last one talk about thoughts or compulsive behaviours? How much of the period, the last week, was occupied by uncontrolled or obsessive thoughts. I'm going to go a few hours a day. It's our middle one. Then how anxious would you have been if you had prevented acting out the compulsive behaviours? See, that's an interesting one. And this being the last question, it's funny that they don't have the same thing for the intrusive thoughts. Preventing, you know, like sort of thinking about or being able to sort of put to the side intrusive thoughts. Would have actually gotten a low-ranked answer as far as how many dots it's got next to it. Compulsive behaviours. I'm gonna go, I think slightly is sort of my default. I'm slightly anxious day to day. I'm getting better at it. Alright. So I got a 21, which comes to moderate symptoms, which makes sense. Most of my answers were moderate. Yeah. Cool. Interesting. Now again, and the tests will tell you themselves, these are not diagnostic tools. These are tests to show the indication of, you know, your risk of having a particular. This is not a substitute for going to your GP and getting a referral to a psychologist to be able to talk about these things and be properly diagnosed. That is and always will be the only way you can actually get a definitive answer is if you go to a health professional and get clinically diagnosed. Now, you don't have to get medicated. I mean, I'm only on like my anxiety medications, only like a 10 milligram once a day sort of thing. And I'm also seeing a psychologist once a month, so you don't have to rely on medication. So if you're putting off getting a diagnosis because you don't want to be medicated, you are allowed to say, I don't want to be medicated, I want to find out how to, you know, deal with this, overcome this, you know, whatever your particular goal might be. And as long as you're willing to put in the work to do so, you should be able to basically approach it however you would like to. But that's all for this video. I will leave the link for this and all the other tests down below. If you are new here, please hit the subscribe button and don't forget to hit that notification bell as well if you want to be notified when I upload new videos. If you liked this one, give it a big old thumbs up. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. And until next time, guys, keep your head screwed on.